A very good morning, friends. I once again welcome you all for the third chapter of yesterday subject, that is field effect transistor. So here, this transistor, field effect transistor, or you can it is abbreviated as FET is abbreviated as field effect transistor. This is another class of transistor. So here it can be used as an amplifier as well as it can be used as a switch, like other transistors. In the previous session, you have seen the BJT and its application as a switch as well as an amplifier design. So these field effect transistors also can be used as a switch as well as they can be used as an used to construct the amplifier. Like transistor, BJT transistor, it is also a three-terminal device. However, the principle of operation of FET is completely different from that of BJT. So let's begin. So the field effect transistor is abbreviated as an FET, is another semiconductor device like BJT, which can be used as an amplifier as well as switch. So we can use this FET, this kind of transistor, that is FET also can be used to construct the amplifier as well as switch. However, the switching speed of FET is somewhat slower compared to that of BJT. So whenever high speed switching applications, in high speed switching applications, we will be using BJT instead of FET. So somewhat the switching speed of FET is somewhat slower compared to that of BJT. Like BJT, FETs also have three terminals, but they are designated with the different names as gate, drain, and source. Out of these three terminals, gate acts as a controlling terminal. So here, so if you see the comparison diagram of BJT and FET, this is referred as BJT and this is referred as FET. This is a current control device and this is an voltage control device. So why it is referred as current control device? Because so as you see here, there are three terminals, that is base, collector and emitter. Always the output current will be IC here. The output current is controlled by the base current IB. The presence and absence of the IB current, it depicts or it predicts the value of IC here. If IB is 0, IC also will be 0. If IB it has some value, means IC will be beta times that of IB value. Means the output current is completely controlled by the input base current. That's why it is referred as current controlled device. Similarly here, in analogous to this diagram, the B is nothing but it is referred as gate here, and C is nothing but drain here, and E is nothing but source here. So as in case of BJT, emitter is going to emit the charge carriers. In the similar sense, here the source terminal is going to emit the charge carriers. So maybe it is going to emit the electron or maybe it is going to emit the holes. So the emitted charge carriers are collected at the drain terminal. The drain terminal is very similar or analogous to the collector terminal here. And here there is one more terminal, that is controlling terminal, so that is gate. So here the output current is a drain current, and this drain current is completely controlled by the voltage between the gate and source terminal. So that is referred as VGS. So if VGS is equal to 0, obviously ID value will be 0. If VGS is some value, positive or negative value, so based on that one, different values of ID can be calculated. Means the output current here, the output drain current is completely controlled by the gate to source voltage, or you can say VGS. That's why it is referred as voltage controlled device. Next we see some important features of FET. So here while listing the important features, you have to make at least 5 points here. So very first one, so that is FET is a voltage control device. So as we discussed in the previous slide only, the output current, that is the drain current, is completely controlled by the VGS voltage. So that's why it is referred as an voltage controlled device. The same thing is written here. The output current ID is controlled by the electric field voltage that is applied between the gate and source voltage, that is VGS. That's why it is referred as a voltage control device. That is the first important feature. And the very next important feature, as I already told you, the transistors can be of two types. They can be broadly classified into two types: a unipolar transistors and bipolar transistors. The difference is, so current, whether the current conduction is due to only holes or only electrons or both. So based on that one, so here it is referred as an unipolar device. BJT was a bipolar device. There the current conduction was due to both holes as well as electrons. Means the electrons and holes both were inward, or both they do the active participation in current conduction. But here in case of unipolar device, current conduction is due to either holes or electrons, but not both. ಎರಡು ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಐದರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಥವಾ ಹೋಲ್ಸ್ ನಿಂದ ಆದರೂ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ, ಯೂನಿಪೋಲಾರ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. So as we have seen one more disadvantage in case of BJT, the thermal runaway was a common problem in case of BJT. So what is thermal runaway? That is nothing but the destruction of transistor due to the excess heat that is produced at the junction. But here there is no thermal runaway problem. So no thermal runaway problem in the sense the temperature stability is higher than BJT. So temperature stability is somewhat higher compared to that of BJT. So here no need of using any heat sink or anything. So very next feature is it has very high input impedance. So compared to BJT, the input impedance of FET is high here. So as we have seen the basic application of transistors, they can be used as a amplifier or they can be used as a switch. So here whenever we are designing an amplifier which needs an high input impedance, then the FET is the best choice. Okay. And at last, the another important feature is it consumes very small space, or you can say it requires very less space. Hence these are preferred in integrated chips while manufacturing the ICs. So the FETs are preferred than the BJTs because of their small size. Next is the classifications of FETs. Here I have shown the classifications of transistors basically, but in examination if you have been asked to write the classifications of FET, then you can simply write this chart. But here I have given the brief classification of transistors, so including bipolar as well as unipolar junction transistors. So here the first class is nothing but BJT. This is nothing but bipolar junction transistors. So here the current conduction is due to both holes as well as electrons, and they are classified again. They are again classified as NPN and PNP transistors. And in case of FET, they can be classified into two types. That is JFET and MOS FET. JFET is nothing but it is abbreviated as junction feed effect transistor, and so here the gate will be in a direct contact with the channel. So whether the channel is made up of N type of material or P type of material, based on that one they are subclassified into two types, that is N channel JFET and P channel JFET. Similarly, in FET, if the gate is not in a direct contact with the channel or if it is insulated from the channel, so such kind of FETs are referred as metal oxide semiconductor feed effect transistors. So here the gate is insulated from the channel with an SiO2 layer, that is silicon dioxide layer. So that's why they are referred as metal oxide semiconductor feed effect transistor. The input resistance of these MOSFETs will be higher than that of JFET. So here again the MOSFETs, the MOSFETs can be operated in two regions or two modes: enhancement mode and depletion mode. So based on that one there are two types. So whether they are operated in enhancement mode or depletion mode or in both. The first type is depletion type of MOSFET. So here in case of depletion type of MOSFET, channel won't be there, or channel will be there during the construction. And in case of enhancement MOSFET, channel won't be present during the construction, but later the channel will be formed during the operation. So here channel will be there during the construction itself, and here the channel won't be there during the construction, but it is later formed during the operation. Again, whether the channel is made up of n channel type of n channel, or whether the channel is made up of p type of material. So based on that one, these two MOSFETs are again subclassified into n channel D MOSFET and p channel D MOSFET, as well as n channel E MOSFET and p channel E MOSFET. So here, so from here onwards, we will be studying in brief about the JFET as well as the subclasses of MOSFET. Let's see the construction of N-channel MOSFET. So here, in case of N-channel MOSFET, very first one is uh, we'll be taking an N lightly doped N type of slab, or you can say this is an N type of slab is taken. So on this slab, two ohmic contacts are made at the top and bottom end. So this is first ohmic contact and this is another ohmic contact. These two ohmic contacts are designated, one is designated as drain, another one is designated as source, which is represented with D and S letters. Later, a highly doped P type of material is diffused at the either ends. So here you can see a P type of heavily doped P type of material is diffused at the other two ends, and again two ohmic contacts are made here. So these two ohmic contacts, or these two electrodes, are internally shorted together, and we bring out a common terminal which is nothing but gate. So internally these two ohmic contacts are shorted together, and they are brought out as a common terminal as which is designated as gate. So here the gap between the two heavily doped p type of materials, this gap is referred as channel, and this channel, since it is made up of n type of material, this is referred as n channel JFET. This is referred as n channel JFET, and here you can see the symbol. So while writing the symbols of JFET, or while writing the symbols of, if it is JFET, JFET, so here the current direction should be shown at the gate terminal. So you can see here the arrowhead. The arrowhead is indicating that the current will be flowing from gate towards the channel. From gate to channel, the current will flow. So that's why the current direction is the arrowhead. It indicates the current direction here. So if you see the working of N-channel MOSFET here, N-channel JFET here. So here, as we have seen in the construction, the channel was formed by the N type of material. So here there is an N type of slab is taken. Two heavily doped P type materials are diffused at the other ends, and they are internally shorted, and a common electrode or the common terminal is taken out, brought out, which is nothing but a gate here. While while we study the working of N-channel JFET, very first point we have to note down here is the gate to source terminal. It should be, this region should be always reverse biased. So reverse biased in the sense, as we can see here, the gate terminal is made negative with respect to the source terminal. So you can see here the p type material of that is gate is connected to negative terminal of the battery, and the source, which is again a n type material, is connected to positive terminal of the battery. I can say this one is this junction, the gate to source junction, is always reverse biased. And one more voltage you have to apply between the drain and source. So here the voltage is applied in such a way that drain terminal is made always positive with respect to source. So drain is connected to positive terminal of the battery, and source is connected to negative terminal of the battery. I hope how the biasing is done is clear. Well, next thing is the working can be better understood by considering the three following cases. Very first one is uh, VGS is equal to, when VGS is equal to 0 and VDS is also equal to 0, means uh, VGS is equal to 0 in the sense the gate to source, these two terminals are internally shorted, no potential is applied. Even the drain and source terminals are also shorted. Whenever the gate to source as well as the drain to source terminals are shorted together, obviously there won't be any drain current. So if you connect a milliammeter here. So this milliammeter is going to read an output current ID. The ID will be equal to 0 here because these two terminals, the drain to source as well as the gate to source terminals, are shorted together. We won't see any output current, or you can say the drain current will be 0 in the first case. ID will be equal to 0. In second case, when VGS is equal to 0 and VDS is applied. So when VGS is equal to 0 in the sense, so here let me erase this. The gate and source terminal are shorted together. No potential is applied between the gate and source, or you can say these two are shorted together. Only we will apply the VDD, or you can say the VDS is applied. When a voltage VDS is applied between the drain and source terminal with 0 gate to source voltage, the two PN junctions. So here you can see there is one PN junction formed at here, another PN junction that is formed here. The two PN junctions on the opposite sides of the bar, they form the depletion region. As you can see here, the drain terminal is more positive, or you can say N is more positive compared to the P here. I can say there is a reverse biasing is done here. And the reverse bias, it is not uniform here, because you can see here, let's say if we have applied a 10 voltage here, so drain terminal, so I can consider this as an resistance, uniform resistance. So here the voltage won't be same at all the points. The voltage will be maximum at the drain and it will be very minimal at the source. Let's say here it will be an plus 8 volt, and here somewhere here it will be 6 volt, somewhere here it will be 4 volt, and somewhere here near the source it is, let's say, 2 volt. Or you can simply say the drain is more positive compared to the source. So whenever the voltage is divided in this fashion, no doubt the depletion region will form, but the depletion region, it protrude more towards the source than towards the protrude more towards the drain than the source. You will get a depletion region like this. You will get a depletion region like this. As we go on increasing the VDS value further, the depletion region, it spreads more in the drain, more towards the drain terminal rather than the source. At some point of time, whenever VDS values further increase, so these two depletion regions, they closes the channel here. So whenever they closes the channel, so whatever the electrons that are emitted from the source, now they can't travel and they can't reach at the drain. So let me explain this once again. So initially whenever the voltage is applied, since this drain terminal is more positive compared to the source, so the electrons are emitted from the source. As we can see, the source is at negative potential. The electrons here, they get a repulsion force from the source terminal, and at the same time they get an attraction force from the drain terminal. The electrons will try to move from source to drain. At the same time, the PN junction is said to be reverse biased. So here the two PN junctions on the opposite sides of the bar. So these two PN junctions, they protrude more at the drain terminal and less at the source terminal. As we go on increasing the VDD value, at some point of time, so these two depletion regions, they almost touch with each other, they almost close off the channel, and it won't allow any further movement of electrons from the source to drain. Or simply you can say here, if there is an milliammeter connected, so ID, as soon as VDS is applied, ID will start increasing. At some point of VDS value, ID, it achieves the saturation value or it becomes IDSS, maximum value is achieved. After that, even though if VDS value is further increased, so since the channel is almost closed off, you won't see another again increase in the ID value. It achieves the saturation value, the maximum value, that is IDSS. The voltage at which the VDS voltage at which the ID value becomes maximum, that is IDSS. That voltage is referred as pinch off voltage. So again I can write it here. Whenever VD value becomes equal to VP, or you can say pinch off value, so ID will achieve a value, saturation value or the maximum value, IDSS. So further, if VD value is increased further, or if it is increased beyond VP value, since the channel was almost closed here, since the channel is almost closed, you won't see a further increase in the ID value than the IDSS, or you can say ID remains constant. The same diagram is shown here. So here you can see here there is no connection between the gate and source, or you can say there 0 volt is applied. These two are, or you can say these two are simply shorted without any potential source, and since we are applying only VDS, so you can see here the depletion region formed, it protrudes more towards the drain rather than towards the source. So after certain voltage means as long as the VDS value is less than VP, there will be a narrow passage will be there. Still the electrons can pass through this channel and reach at the drain terminal. Whenever VDS value is greater than or equal to VP, whenever it is, let's say whenever it is equal to VP, this channel will get almost closed. So there is no passage for the electron movement, and ID value is said to be achieved a maximum value. Further, it won't increase, means even though VDS is increased beyond VP value, you won't get a significant increase in the ID value, or it remains constant. It achieves the saturation value of IDSS. Next, the third case, when VGS is negative, or you can say if negative voltage is applied between the gate and source terminal, and VDS is applied, or you can say VDS is kept constant here. So here you can see in the second diagram here, the VDS is kept constant, it is not varied, and VGS with a small negative voltage, now the depletion regions, they spread more towards the channel, and with a small negative voltage, still some electrons may be able to cross this passage or this channel and reach at the drain terminal. Let's say if VGS is further increased, within a short span of time, these two depletion regions, they almost touch with each other. By closing the passage for the electron flow from source to drain. And if you measure the ID current with a large negative voltage, it will be 0, because the voltage at the VGS voltage at which ID becomes 0 is referred as VGS cutoff, or you can say whenever VGS value becomes equal to VGS of ID will become 0. There won't be any drain current. Or in converse, you can say the VGS of and the VP, the cutoff voltage or the pinch off voltage, both will be same only. Both will be same in the magnitude, but only difference is, so the polarity may be different. VGS may be equal to VP in magnitude, but the polarity will be different, means VGS will be equal to minus VP, because this is a negative voltage. Okay, like this I can say the voltage between the gate and source terminal is controlling the output current ID, or you can say the ID current is completely controlled by the field that is between the gate and source. That's why it is referred as a field effect transistor. The characteristics, so here as seen that the VGS controls ID. So there can be an equation. The Shockley is a kind of scientist. So he proposed an equation. He this equation will tell the relationship between the ID and VGS. So this equation, it tells that ID is equal to IDSS into 1 minus VGS minus VP square, where ID is nothing but, so this is the drain current or output current. IDSS, as we have seen, that is a constant saturation current at pinch off voltage. So this is the max saturation value of drain current ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. Then VGS is nothing but the gate to source voltage, and VP is nothing but the pinch off voltage. Okay. Next we see the characteristics of N channel JFET. There are two characteristics of N channel JFET will be studied. The first set of characteristics are drain characteristics. So here the drain characteristics are nothing but these are the curves that are drawn between the ID and the VDS, that is the drain to source voltage, keeping the gate to source voltage to some constant value. So here you can see the ID, the drain current is taken along the y-axis, and the VDS, the voltage between the drain and source, is taken along the x-axis. So the curves are drawn for different constant VGS values here. As we can see from the characteristics curves here, so there are four reasons of operations are there. Where first reason is ohmic reason, and second reason is saturation reason, third reason is breakdown, and the fourth one is the pinch off, or you can say cutoff reason. So let's see the ohmic reason. So initially, as we have seen that initially, whenever VDS value is less than VP, or you can say whenever VDS values increase from 0 volt, initially channel won't be closed. Channel won't be closed means whenever VDS values increase, so corresponding ID value also will increase. So means as the VDS is increased, in correspond to VDS, ID value also increases, means it behaves like a resistor which obeys the Ohm's law. So you can see here, so initially keeping, let's say initially we have kept the VGS value to some value 0 volt. So if you increase the VDS, so current value ID also is increased till this point. Once the VDS value becomes equal to VP, then the current, it achieves the saturation value, or you can see the current, it becomes maximum, which is nothing but IDSS. Further increase in the VDS value doesn't make any effect on the ID. It remains constant, or you can get a flat curve here. So this region of operation is known as saturation. The saturation region is the region, so where the VDS value is greater than VP. Okay. So next one is the breakdown region. Okay. The VDS value. So let's say whenever the VDS value is greater than VP. So one second. Whenever VDS value is increased beyond VP, or you can say pinch off voltage, to a larger value, to some extent it is okay, but if you increase the VDS value at a larger value than that of VP ಕಿಂತ ಬಹಳ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ the JFET, it gets broken down, or the channel gets broken down, and ID current, it rises rapidly, or you can say it increases by damaging the JFET completely, or you can say this is the reason, the breakdown reason. Next and the last reason is the pinch off reason or cutoff reason. This is the value of VGS that ID approximately is 0, is nothing but cutoff voltage. You can see here the cutoff voltage is -4 volt. So this is the VGS off. So if the value, this is VGS off, if the value is increase in the negative direction beyond -4, you won't be getting any significant value of ID current. It is almost equal to 0, because as the VGS value achieves the value of VGS off, here also channel will get almost closed, means ID current won't be there, ID current will be 0. Or simply in this characteristic equation, you can say whenever VGS value is equal to, the region below the VGS value equal to VGS off is nothing but pinch off region. Okay. Next set of characteristics are transfer characteristics. So here the curves are drawn between the ID and VGS. For different values of VGS, the ID value is calculated and it is drawn keeping the VDS value constant. VDS value na constant ಆಗಿರ್ತಾರ. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ, so here you can see the VGS value is taken along the x-axis and the ID value is taken along the y-axis. So as we have seen in the working of JFET, n-channel JFET, whenever VGS value is equal to 0, ID achieves the maximum value, which is nothing but ID SS. And whenever the VGS value is increased in the negative direction, and if it becomes equal to the VGS off, the drain current will be almost equal to 0. So here the drain current is minimal here, and here the drain current is maximum here. Here maximum drain current, or you can say it is a saturation current. So from here to here, you will get, if you plot the curve, you will get a curve like this. Or simply this can be governed by the equation, Shockley equation, as you have seen previously in the Shockley equation. Whenever VGS value is equal to 0, if you substitute 0 here, if you substitute 0 divided by anything will be equal to 0 only. So ID will become 1 this will be 0, this term, entire term will be reduced to 0. 1 minus 0 will be 1 only, 1 square will be 1 only. 1 into IDSS is nothing but IDSS only. Then ID will become IDSS. So here you can see ID will become IDSS, the maximum current, whenever VGS is equal to 0. Next, if you substitute VGS equal to VGS off, let's see what happens. If you substitute VGS equal to VGS off, so remember the VP and VGS value will be both will be one and the same, so in magnitude. So this equation is written considering the magnitude only, not the polarities. This equation is written only considering the magnitudes. So since the VGS is equal to VGS off and VP also will be equal to VGS off only, these two terms will get cancelled. So means it will be, one second, let me erase this. So since the numerator and denominator are equal here, so this entire term can be replaced with 1 here. 1 minus 1, it becomes 0. 0 square will be 0 only. IDSS into this 0 term, ID will become 0. So like this. So whenever VGS equal to VGS off, ID will become 0. Okay. Similarly, if you see the characteristics of P channel, the same characteristics are written, the same characteristics curves are drawn here. Only the difference is the VGS value is considered to be positive. So in case of N channel, these values were taken negative, and here these were taken positive. Rest all will be same. Here also there are 4 regions of operations are there: ohmic region, saturation region, breakdown region, as well as cutoff region. Only the VGS value is assumed to be positive. And if you see the characteristics of P channel JFET, so here the VGS value is assumed to be negative in case of N channel, but the same here the VGS value is assumed to be it should be assumed to be positive here. So here whenever VGS value is equal to 0, the current is maximum, so that is nothing but IDSS. Whenever VGS is equal to VGS off, the current will become 0. As you can see these two pictures, these two are the mirror image of each. So here the VGS, only the difference is VGS here it is considered as negative, and here VGS is considered as positive. That is the only difference. Okay.